This is Table Dancer. He does this all the time. We're not really sure why. Oh, he saw me. I'm sorry, Table Dancer. We just want to watch you dance. Yeah, he's really fond of spinning. You gotta have dreams. He likes to spin on this step especially. He comes back here, he climbs up, and then he just spins. Yeah. I don't know what it is about the animals in this town. Today, we're going to do a little bit of a collaborative build. This area of town is called Starlight's Vigil, and it's sort of a military district. This is going to be not necessarily where the standing military resides, because this space is relatively small, but it's going to be where the main building that houses the generals and, the high-ranking members of the military, where they hang out and where they live. Also, there'll be a war room, probably some training area, stuff like that. This area is currently being worked on by my good friend John. He's doing a fantastic job. This facade is just, it's beautiful. I love the accents with the lapis and the blue concrete and this roof and just all the detail. It's looking really nice. But it's something that we have been working on a little bit together. And today I thought we'd work a little bit on this sort of curved staircase out front. So I've laid out a basic shape. I know that I want it to be curved because we have this water right here, and obviously we don't want the staircase to go into the water. That would be bad. And this is the entrance to the district, so that would make sense if this staircase curved towards the entrance, right? That's something that makes sense. So I've laid out a little bit of a pattern. When you do curved things, you want to have parts of concentric circles. I'm using just a really simple circle template to draw these circles by hand. You can find those sorts of tools online easily. Just Google search for something like circle template. I'm sure you'll find something. So the outer radius of this big circle is 14 blocks. So we need to draw a quarter of a circle with a radius of 14 blocks. So now we have our basic outline. And what I'm going to attempt to do is to find a good way to step this area up. We need to move upwards by, let's see. So this is ground level right about here. So we need to get from this ground level. So we need to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. We probably want to step it up with slabs, which means that we need to divide this into essentially 12 steps. So the way that I usually like to go about this, the first thing I want to do is I want to take this large half circle and this small half circle, and I want to bring them all the way down to the ground so I can see what I'm dealing with. After we're done constructing this, I can use brushes to convert this concrete into another block, something else. But for right now, it's nice to use a bright color that I can see clearly what I'm doing. I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to grab this. This is just my regular selection tool. And I'm going to stack it 6 blocks downwards. That should bring us all the way to the ground. I'm going to subtract air because I don't want this to poke a hole in the ground. I just want these to move straight down. All right, cool. We've got that cleared out. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to grab this corner, and we're going to grab this corner. We are going to stack it down. You can use the same command, stack 6 down, minus A for air. Boom. So generally what I like to do is just divide things into as many pieces as I can. This diagonal line divides this staircase perfectly in half so that these two sides, this side and this side, are equal. So I know that this diagonal line needs to be approximately halfway between the heights of this bottom part and this top part, which in this case is probably about 3 blocks. So we're starting to get there. You can see now that we've got sort of a big step shape going on. We're just gonna further divide things out. So now we're getting there. Now we have to do the hard part. The hard part is this weird angled area. This is something that everyone struggles with. I struggle with it. Maybe it's just me, who knows? The rest of this is just a little bit of experimentation. There's not a really great way to go about it, but yeah, let's see what we can do. So it looks like the height difference between this area right here And this area right here is only 1 block, which means we only need enough space to put slabs. So that actually makes things fairly easy, because I think that if we just fill this in, yeah, we should be able to just mess with the shape of this area a little bit, right? So we'll make some of this come out a little bit just to try and get sort of an angled shape on there. Maybe fill in these a little bit. How does that look? That looks fairly even. And if we do that, then we can just sort of shape the rest of this to fit. And that forms a pretty nice, fairly nice stair gradient. Let's see if we can duplicate something similar on the bottom. Again, a lot of this is really just open to your interpretation. This is only one way of doing it, and by no means is it the best way or anything like that. It's just the way that I've found works for me, and, you know, if it ain't broke, right? There we go. We've completed a bit of a staircase, and I think that's relatively smooth. It's a little bit strange in some places, but I don't see any places where it's not a smooth slab size transition height-wise, which is really the biggest thing I'm looking for, is to make sure that no matter how you walk up this staircase, it is a smooth transition that you won't need to jump in any places in order to get up to the next level. This is sort of a small build, nothing super fancy, but I thought I'd show you at least how I look at it. Maybe it's helpful, maybe it's not, I don't really know, but I hope it's helpful, at least for someone. That looks much better. Get rid of some of this. That's green concrete under there, but I don't think it matters. I don't think anyone's ever going to see that. We'll know, but that's okay. We can deal with that. And the last thing I want to do is use brushes just to change this concrete into something a little more beautiful. I'm thinking for now, probably just stone bricks, and eventually I'm sure John will come up with a better palette, but for right now, we'll use stone bricks. So we're going to use brush, sphere, stone bricks. Bricks, maybe? There you go. Radius 5. We are going to mask lime concrete so that we do not mess any of the other stuff. Let's see. And we're just going to paint with this, just with the right-click button. Here we go. This is looking pretty good. I think John will really like this. Hello, everyone. Today we're outside Starlight's Vigil that John has been working on, and progress has been swift and amazing. Just look at all that detail in the towers and the roofs and the flags. He's built a statue of a guy riding a horse. It is super, super fantastic and magical, and I really want to go live there. Anyway, I thought we'd walk around a little bit and see some of the new sights in the city. This entryway is super beautiful. I love the trees and the way the staircase curves. Of course, we built that staircase, so, you know. But we could be proud of it nonetheless, even if it's something that we built. This is something that I think still is in the works. I think this is just a skeleton. I think eventually all these white concrete details will be flushed out with, you know, the same kind of stone detailing that we've got on the rest of this building. And then look at this. This is really, really cool. John has built a statue of a guy riding a horse that just looks really, really nice. There's just, I don't know how he does it. There's so much detail. You can see the guy's, you know, he's got a head and shoulder, I guess they're called pauldrons. You can see his horse, you can see his legs, he's got a cape and a flag. And it's a really, really cool statue. I honestly wish I could build statues like this, but maybe I'll have to talk with John and take a lesson or something, right? The bay side of this big building has also been kind of detailed out, and it looks really good. It matches up really well with the other features on the front of this wall, you know, with the palace and everything. But it's similar but different enough that I think the difference is noticeable and relevant, which I think is important. You know, right? We don't want all the buildings on the front of this cliff face to look exactly the same. That would be boring. John's designing like big flowing flags that are going on the roof. Those are looking really cool. This is a box that I built. John, he was just here and I think he'll be back soon. But, you know, he logged out and I saw that this is where he was when he logged out. So as one does, I have completely encased the area where he's going to spawn back in concrete. I stuck an observer in there and a little glowstone in the ceiling so that he gets a nice, good face full of frowny observer face when he comes back. Not apologetic for that at all. Let's take a look at some of the other things we've seen built in the city recently. So Rhymegate is really filling in. You could see just how many buildings there are. I'm not sure if it's really as apparent from some of my previous videos because I'm walking the city streets, but there's a lot of buildings here. There's a lot of different buildings and a lot of houses and shops, and each one of them is very, very unique. You know, I mean, they all serve different purposes. They have, I'm pretty sure every building in here has an interior. It looks really good. This is all, relatively new. It's gone up in the last couple of months. Most of these buildings were built by MCX and Bart, and they look really good. So this is Castletop Inn. This is MCX's. It's kind of his home base of operations. It's one of the buildings that I think he's most proud of. He built it, and he's also been working on banners. We talked a little bit about that in a previous episode, and he's actually gone and taken all the banners and displayed them on the I don't know what you call those, the spiky crown things on the top of Castletop Inn. Eventually I'll look that word up, but we can see all the different banners. They all look really great. He's done a fantastic job, so that's really neat. I think it's also interesting that we're developing some sub-districts in these areas of the city. So if you look here, this is in Rhymegate. This is just part of a larger district, but we've got this little area that Bart has kind of cordoned off with these little gates. You can see, let's go around this corner here. There's another one right here, and if you look over here, there's another one right here. This is almost like a little neighborhood, and I don't know, it's just kind of fun. I think it's interesting. At some point, we'll have to give all these little neighborhoods, name-specific titles and all that, but it's fun to walk around and see things developing, because really all this is kind of developed mostly naturally. I mean, I didn't specifically ask to have any of these neighborhoods built, but they're just sort of developing organically, which I think is really cool. I thought this was very cute. We've got this little building right here, which is called the Horsetail Tavern, and Bart was explaining to me that it's a tavern, and it's right at the rear end of the horse where the tail is. And I don't know, it's the little details like that really they're charming. Here we have a poetry pit with, I guess it's like a poetry forum. Oh yeah, look at this. Kind of I don't know, like a lounge situation. Look at that. We've got these little seating areas up in the ceiling. This is really cool. I love the detail and thought that goes into a lot of this stuff that people are building. We've got a breadstick special at the Bywater Tavern. So this is right next to this bridge. You can see, maybe, yeah, that it's right down here by the water. It's even got a water accessible entrance to the building. That's super cool. So another thing I kind of wanted to talk about in this episode, and something that we haven't really touched on too much, is just sort of the history, not necessarily of the world, but the history of the build, the project, the whole Minecraft thing. We've been building since last February, so February of 2020. It's been about a year. and things are coming along really well so far. I'm really amazed at how much progress has been made. But I wanted to show you these buildings because they're not the prettiest, they're not the fanciest, but they are near and dear to my heart. These are the first buildings that I built in the city. They're a little wonky. They've got sort of a strange shape. The roofs are a little bit off. You know, I think that I've improved as a builder a lot since building these, but it is really cool to look back and be able to see, you know, things that you've worked on before. You know, I think they look nice. They don't look, they're a little bit rustic, I think. Not quite as fancy as some of the other big buildings, but they've got their own charm. And I think that that's where we're going to end things today. I hope that you enjoyed watching. I tried to find a good mix of building with just a touch of introspection. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.